Good morning all. Today we are going to discuss about presentation skills case study. So this presentation skills plays a vital role in each and every person, whether he's a student or he's working in a company or whatever profession he takes up. This presentation helps him and supports him to express his thoughts and feelings in a successful manner. So a presentation can be defined as a means of communication. It is adapted to various speaking situations such as talking to a group, addressing a meeting or briefing a team or taking a class in a classroom, taking a seminar, presentation, so on. So this helps one to prepare an audio-visual communication, and with the help of this audio-visual communication, one can explain his opinions or his thoughts to the group of public or to the people. So this presentation supports in various aspects of making the crowd to understand the concept in a clear manner. So here we are going to see a video which will clearly state what actually presentation skills and what are the do's and don'ts which we are doing in the presentation skills.
Marketing is the activity set for institutions and process for creating
most girls I... Can you call me back? I'm having a presentation right now.
yeah, have the value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. Values for customers.
Writing does not meet task or mission content. Point to lack.
I think you would have enjoyed the video, and also it has given you some kind of information that what are the do's and don'ts which a person is doing and which is looking very awkward or very disgusting when you're doing so many mischievous things in the presentation. So according to this video, so how first we have to do, or what is the main thing we have to do while preparing a presentation, is these four important P's. Okay, so these things or the steps you have to follow is: first you have to plan for the presentation, then you have to prepare your presentation, and next is you have to practice it, and then only you can present. So these are the four important things that one should follow while you're doing your presentation. So the first one is plan, prepare, practice, and present. So What is planning is, first you have to decide on what topic you're going to make up the presentation. So what is your area of interest, or what is the thing which you know very well? So before starting for the process of selecting a topic, you should be very much clear on what topic you're going to prepare your presentation and how we are going to prepare. So this is the main planning process you have to do it. So this will support you to give a confidence to the presenter. If you are taking up an unknown topic and if you're going to present in front of a crowd, it will reduce your confidence level. And if the audience asks you some questions, you will not be able to present it in a clear manner, or you will not be able to explain it or give explanations for the questions asked by the audience. So here planning supports you in this regard, and based on your ideas you can first choose the topic which you are very familiar with, so that will help you to be more confident while preparing the presentation. The next one is, see what things you have to find out, or what the things you have to check before selecting a topic. So these are the things we have to follow. That is all given in WH form. So who is your audience? Who is the targeted audience, and why are they there? So for what is the purpose of that particular meeting? So what is your goal, and how long will be the presentation, and where it will take place? So all these things you have to first identify. For example, the audience may be the students or the public or some company persons or some kind of workers or whatever it is. So based on the audience level, you have to choose the topic for the presentation, and why are they there? So for what is the cause of that meeting? Either it is a teaching learning process or some kind of knowledge gathering process, or like that you have to find out, identify, and then choose the topic. So based on the time you have to fix. For example, if the meeting is going for 1 hour, you have to prepare PPTs accordingly, and if it is for a half an hour, you have to reduce the amount of PPTs and or the slides, and then you can explain, or you can discuss with the concerned person who is conducting the program. So likewise, you have to answer all these questions. If you are familiar with all the answers of these questions, then you can go for the next step. So next step is your presentation preparation. So you should always have confidence and success. If you are marching towards confidence and success, you have to follow so many things. So you have to avoid embarrassment. You should not panic. You should not have mental block. You should not talk too fast, and you have to give some kind of body action. So this image gives you a clear cut idea. So this guy is going to attain confidence and success. So for that, he has done all these things as his homework. So what is his body language and how he's going to talk, mental block, his panic, whether he's panic or embarrassed. So all these things you have to be clear. So when we go for the next step of preparation, again, there are a few points you have to think about it. The number one is structure. Number two is prompt, visual aids, voice, appearance, style, and questions. So when you're going to prepare for it, first you have to decide what is the structure of your presentation and how prompt it is to be successful, and what are the visual aids you're going to use. Either you are going to use some kind of PowerPoint presentations or some demo models or whatever it is, or whether you're going to choose some videos or whatever it is. And your voice, how your voice should be, it should be very pleasing. Also it should be authenticated. So all these things should be in your voice. And your appearance, how you're going to appear in front of the crowd, is also very important. And your style or your dressing, how you're going to do it. And the questions, you have to be very well prepared for the questions, because audience may ask any kind of questions. So you should be very much thorough with all the questions in the subject related presentation. So preparation is the most important part of making a successful presentation. So it can be broken down into few elements. So how this presentation can be made? The presentation can be split up with the following points. That is the objective, the subject, the audience, the place, the time of day, length of talk, etc. So if you split it up into these fragments, it will support you to present it in a successful manner. And so how we are going to organize your material? So now you have collected, you have prepared it, and you have material in your hand. So now one thing you're going to do is how you're going to organize your presentation material. So here again you have to open your doors towards the communication part. So here there are so many things which you have to have in your mind. That is accent reduction, fluency, language, articulation, public. So here which one you have to follow strictly is your communication, which will help you to be the key for opening your speaking in a successful manner. So the next thing, your first one is preparation, next one is planning. Sorry, first one is planning, second one is preparation, and the third one is structure. So what is the structure of your presentation? You have to decide. So first, the structure of the presentation should be with all these things. The number one is objective, beginning or introduction, main content, summary, conclusion, and recommendations. So here these things are very important, which should be followed while doing your presentation. So when you have it in a order, it will be easy for the audience to understand in the right manner. So this is the main structure you have to follow. So see, first you have to have introduction, then you have to enter into the main theme, and that last you have to bring out the conclusion. So introduction should grab the audience attention, and the content should be relevant to the topic, and the summary should have a key message. So when you're preparing a presentation, you have to follow all these three things, which will take you to the perfect completion of that presentation. So what are the how you are using the visual aids? So use simple fonts, colors and graphs, use images and clip art, 3 to 7 bullets per slide. Don't overcrowd your slides, and then you have to use different methods of visual slides to keep the people awake. If you're keeping on putting only wordings, it will make them to feel sleepy. So you have to use your visual aids in a successful manner. Then you have to have an excellent voice that is louder and clear than your normal pitch. Vary pitch, volume over emphasis. So when you are speaking, it should always reach to the audience in a very clear manner. So then they will be keenly watching you, and also they'll be listening to your words. So the next thing you should do is body language. So in the video, now we are getting back slowly into the video. So you could find that guy, one who was doing his presentation, he was wearing a very awkward dress. He was not wearing he was not in a formal dress code, not awkward. It is not in a formal dress code. He has come with an informal dress code without any sense of dressing. So here the thing which you can understand from his dressing itself is he's not prepared for the presentation. So your body language and your dressing sense plays an important role in your presentation. So always in the second part, you could see that guy dressed in a proper dress code with a black suit, or his coat, or whatever it is. So the differentiation can be easily understood from the previous part to the next part. So appearance also is very, very important, as it is clearly understood in the video which you have seen. And there is a small tip. So proper usage of sentence is required. You should have effective speaking, being clear about ideas. Your volume should be heard to everybody. Then clarity to be understood, and variety to add interest. So the next thing is you have to know your audience. So that is more important. You have to be very clear about audience, as they will evaluate you in your first 5 seconds or 5 minutes. So they will not give you any other chance. So whenever you're meeting an audience, so be prepared for it. So you can, in that video, you could find that guy is very much disturbed. He is taking a water bottle, drinking some water. He is rushing towards the table, putting things down, and he's having some kind of books in his hand, and he's reading those points from that. So you should avoid all such kind of distractions which will create a bad impression on your side, and the people also will not be listening to your words, as they will get a bad impression on you, and they will judge you, and they will think that you're not the right person for that right presentation. So you have to avoid all such things. Then material, you can use following items to make the content of your presentation: handout, personal notes, internet, and visualize. So that guy know what did he do? He didn't prepare his own personal notes. He just like that came out with his book. Even though he was having the presentation with him, he didn't look at the presentation and present. He was he was showing his back to the audience, and then he was seeing his presentation and book, and he was reading, so which will not be encouraged in a successful manner. We have to avoid such kind of things. We have to take notes and keep it clear. And if required, we can take handouts, or we can use some kind of visual aids to remember for remembrance purposes. So the next important thing, so whatever even you have prepared or whatever it is, we should have a proper practice. So rehearsal helps you to complete your presentation in a successful manner. So we have to have the habit of rehearsing and rehearsing again and again, or practicing again and again with the visual aids and the handouts. So we can also use this mirror, and you can stand there and you can speak and see how far you are very good at presentation. And you have to make a strong start, engage the audience. So in the second part, you could find that guy, he is doing it in an excellent manner, and it was appreciated by the audience also. He was confident enough, since he had a good dressing, he had prepared it very well, and he had confidence towards his speech, so he has done it in an excellent manner. So he has the ability to express it in a clear manner. So you have to have the habit of engaging the audience in a good manner for the first 2 to 3 minutes, and then you have to show your passion through your movements and gestures. You should have eye contact, and you have to always have a smile in your face. So these are the main things you have to follow. So these are so what are the factors for a successful presentation is here. So be over prepared, rehearse and practice, grip on your topic, know your subject. So whenever you are clear about your subject, you will have a lot of confidence to speak about it there, and you should have a positive attitude, and you have to avoid stress. So when we conclude this topic, you have to be always prepared. You have to channelize your fear. You should avoid your fear. So if you want to avoid your fear, you have to be well prepared. You have to rehearse it again and again, and you should have the habit of interacting with your audience. So if you interact, the audience also will have some kind of good impression on you, and you will be appreciated for your presentation. So you have to interact with your audience. So you can just go through the video once. So the source is given here. If you want, you can use it, and then it can be taken into consideration, and you can just find out what are the do's and don'ts that you have to follow while doing your presentation. So thank you, students.